Welcome to the appendix, where we read the primary sources of the past so the present can be better understood. Today's primary source, Monroe's Veto of Cumberland Road Bill, May 4th, 1822. A detailed and comprehensive exposition of President Monroe's constitutional objections to the Cumberland Road Bill can be found in the paper accompanying this measure, Richardson, Volume 2, pages 144 to 183. Washington, May 4th, 1822. To the House of Representatives, having duly considered the bill entitled An Act for the Preservation and Repair of the Cumberland Road, it is with deep regret, approving as I do the policy, that I am compelled to object to its passage and to return the bill to the House of Representatives in which it originated, under a conviction that Congress does not possess the power under the Constitution to pass such a law. A power to establish turnpikes with gates and tolls and to enforce the collection of tolls by penalties implies a power to adopt and execute a complete system of internal improvement. A right to impose duties to be paid by all persons passing a certain road and on horses and carriages, as is done by this bill, involves the right to take the land from the proprietor on a valuation and to pass laws for the protection of the road from injuries, and if it exists as to one road, it exists as to any other, and to as many roads as Congress may think proper to establish. A right to legislate for one of these purposes is a right to legislate for the others. It is a complete right of the jurisdiction and sovereignty for all the purposes of internal improvement, and not merely the right of applying money under the power vested in Congress to make appropriations, under which power, with the consent of the states through which this road passes, the work was originally commenced and has been so far executed. I am of the opinion that Congress does not possess this power, that the states individually cannot grant it. For although they may assent to the appropriations of money within their limits for such purposes, they can grant no power of jurisdiction or sovereignty by special compacts with the United States. This power can be granted only by an amendment to the Constitution and in the mode prescribed by it. If the power exists, it must either be because it has been specifically granted to the United States or that it is incidental to some power which has been specifically granted. If we examine the specific grants of power, we do not find it among them, nor is it incidental to any power which has been specifically granted. It has never been contended that the power was specifically granted. It is claimed only as being incidental to someone or more of the powers which are specifically granted. The following are the powers from which it is said to be derived. First, from the right to establish post offices and post roads. Second, from the right to declare war. Third, to regulate commerce. Fourth, to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare. Fifth, from the power to make all laws necessary and proper for carrying into execution all the powers vested by the Constitution in the government of the United States or in any department or officer thereof. Sixth, and lastly, from the power to dispose of and make all needful rules and regulations respecting the territory and other property of the United States. According to my judgment, it cannot be derived from either of those powers, nor from all of them united, and in consequence, it does not exist. Thank you for joining us for our primary source today on the appendix. We will see you in the stacks.